Hi everyone, welcome back to Quirky Pineapples. If you're new here, I'm Vina, a plant-based recipe developer and food blogger, and I'm back with another What I Eat in a Day. My last video, I think I showed you guys a little bit of some of the things that I do out in the world along with celebrating my anniversary, and there were a lot of you who commented wishing Husbatron and I a happy anniversary. Thank you. That was really sweet of you. So I'm starting out with matcha. I think I kind of go back and forth between whether I like to do matcha or coffee. But it's a chill Saturday and it's gloomy outside again. I'm not gonna go into it. If you watch my previous videos, you've heard enough. But I have my matcha here. And I feel like I'm getting to a point where I really like to make my matcha at home instead of getting it from a cafe. Because if I'm being really honest, the matchas that I get from cafes kind of taste weird and like dirt. So, or they just put too much matcha. I don't know. I feel like I like my matcha to be a little light and not as like green. Like I feel like I'm drinking celery juice sometimes when I have matcha from a cafe. But yeah, so I'm gonna enjoy my matcha and of course show you what I eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm gonna try to remember to show you some of the things that I like to eat for snacks because I am a snacking queen. So yeah, I'm gonna take you along with me yet again and show you some ideas of what you could eat if you are transitioning to being vegan or plant-based, or if you just need ideas on what to cook. So yeah, all right, well, I'll see you guys at breakfast time. All right, so for breakfast today, I am having my Just Egg Frittata. And usually I would have this with like toast, but I've been craving grits so bad lately that I'm gonna make some grits with it. So we'll have a chop and chat a little bit. I really like this recipe because one is super simple. And again, we talked about I do not demonize convenience food. So like I said, I am gonna use the Just Egg. And it's kind of nice to have. I like to use Just Egg for like my French toast, making like my egg cups and frittatas and things like that because it comes in handy. So the ingredients that I'm going to toss into this are red peppers, some asparagus, I have mushrooms and spinach, and then just some spices. Keeping it really simple. So I usually just dice up my peppers, which I'm doing right now. Dicing up my peppers to go into the frittata. And I think this is actually one of Husbatron's favorites as well, including the grits. I can't tell you how many Saturdays or Sundays come by and he's like, can you make me some grits? Which I actually like. I think he just prefers the way that I make them. And I don't think I make them really very special, to be honest. And you're gonna see the way I make them. Don't come in my comments talking about you're supposed to do this with your grits and you're supposed to do that with your grits. I don't care what you do with your grits. This is my house. And here I make my grits the way I make my grits. But I don't know any African-American household that there isn't some type of contention around how someone makes their grits or how someone eats their grits. But we're not gonna do that today. Except I will say if you eat your grits with sugar, there's something strange with you. I said what I said. But yeah, so I'm gonna make grits to go with my egg frittata because we haven't had grits in a while. I believe some people, the fancy folks, call the grits polenta, but in this house they're grits. Even though my bag of Bob's Red Mill, it says corn polenta. And I think I get that brand mostly because it is organic. And it's kind of difficult to find like an organic bag of grits. And so, yeah, I just like to use that kind. Grits and polenta are the exact same thing, except like I said, it's easier to find organic polenta than it is to find like a bag that actually says organic grits. All right, so let's finish up with the asparagus. I like asparagus. I like the flavor of asparagus. I like the texture and the snap of asparagus. But you know what I really don't like about asparagus? You probably do know. Is that really strange thing that it does to the smell of your pee. It just, ooh, it smells. It's weird. But we're gonna sacrifice today and we're gonna have some asparagus. All right, so let me turn this on. All right. So I usually pre-cook my vegetables for this because they're very watery and I don't want my frittata to be watery. So I'm gonna cook out some of the water in the mushrooms and the peppers so that it's not soggy and weird, and yeah, nobody wants that. So I'm gonna do that. So let's get some oil in this pan. All right, so now that my oil is hot, I'm gonna start with the mushrooms because they're gonna take the longest. Ah! Don't do like I did. Oh Lord. Burning myself. All right, I'm gonna cook down the mushrooms. I'm actually gonna add a little bit of salt to try and draw some of the moisture out of them. Just a little bit of salt. Draw out some of that moisture. I'm just gonna cook these down. Ah. Okay, and then once they start to look a little bit browned, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my red pepper. Like I said, I'm trying to draw the water out right now. I think I started making this dish when I had a just egg frittata at a restaurant, and it was so good, but it was so overpriced. But I was like, I think I'm gonna make this at home next time, which I think is totally okay. Like, and so I wanted to come home and like make my own version of it. All right, now I'm gonna add in the asparagus so that it can cook down and soften a little bit. I like this because it's like loaded with the goodness. I'm gonna have my spinach, but I'm gonna put the spinach in last. Got my oil popping all over the place. Remember to be safe in the kitchen. Trying to get some of that water out. So I was really disappointed when I had to buy my own cast iron skillet. But now that I have them and they're like all seasoned, I'm pretty proud of myself. But before I got married and like moved away from like my mom had this whole like set of cast iron skillets, and she had this little mini one that I loved using for like making pancakes and things like that, because if you haven't had your pancakes made in a cast iron skillet, you don't know what you're missing. And I was like, Mom, for a wedding gift, like, can I have the mini cast iron skillet? And she was like, no, baby, you're not taking my cast iron skillet. Because I mean, I get it. It takes time for you to like really get the cast iron skillet the way that you want it to be. And I was so hurt. I was like, Mama, you don't love me. You're not giving me a cast iron skillet. It's just a skillet. But she knew. So don't be lending out your cast iron skillets. But all that to say, I got my own, and now they're like all nicely seasoned. And I see why she kind of coveted her cast iron skillets. And I think some of them actually like used to belong to my grandmother, so they probably had like some sentimental value. But yeah, I'm proud that my cast iron skillets are like, they're there now for the most part. Now, do we mess them up sometimes and I have to re-season them? Yeah, yes I do, but that's okay. All right, so while that's cooking down a little bit more, I'm going to start doing my just egg mixture. So I just have like a carton. I'm gonna use the whole thing, use the whole carton. And then I'm going to, where's my whisk? Got my whisk. I'm gonna add a little bit of flour and some baking powder just so that when it goes in the oven, it will bind. Be nice and fluffy. Just gonna whisk that in. And then I've got some garlic powder, black pepper, and salt here. Just simple, nothing too crazy, because we're getting a lot of flavor from like our mushrooms and peppers and all of that. And obviously, like if you make this, you could like put anything you want in it, right? Any of the vegetables that you really like. I usually like to put a little bit of Indian black salt, the kala namak, in it. But again, I have not been to the Indian market in a while, which I'm ashamed to say, because I do have some things that I want to pick up from there. All right, so I'm gonna turn off my vegetables because I don't want my just egg to necessarily start cooking when I pour it in. I want it to cook in the oven. So we're done with that. Let's give this a stir. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I hate how the spinach wants to stick to the spatula. All right, so I'm gonna let that cool off for a little bit before I pour in my just egg and then get it into the oven. Okay, so I've let my veggies cool a little bit and let the skillet, kind of cool down. Because like I said, I really don't want my egg or my just egg to cook yet. There we go. There we go. And then I'm just gonna give it like a light mix just to make sure that all the veggies are distributed. And then sometimes I like to just like throw some of the veggies that are included on top so that when it bakes, it looks all pretty. I don't always do this, but I'm doing it for you guys. I'm doing it for you. Alrighty. And because I really like red pepper. So a little extra red pepper don't hurt nobody. All right, so now this is ready to go in the oven. It's gonna go in for about 30 minutes. So I'm gonna make my grits in the meantime. Ooh. All right, so while my frittata is in the oven baking, I'm going to make my grits. And so I make my grits really basic. Again, if you wanna fight me in the comment section, by all means, I just use water. I don't like to put milk or anything in my grits like some people do, which is perfectly fine, but yeah. All right, I whisk my grits in. There we go. Grits can be dangerous, man. Like boiling hot lava. So make sure you keep an eye on grits when you make it. I feel like I don't eat grits enough, considering I lived in the South for about 4 years, and if I'm not mistaken, I had grits almost every weekend for breakfast. And even when, because I grew up in Michigan, even when we lived in Michigan, like grits were a staple in our house. But yeah, just, you crave some of those things from time to time. I think this is on the list of foods that I'm glad are still like things that I can eat since I'm now vegan. Grits, potatoes, bread, things that I'm happy to still be able to eat. Because you know how there's people who are like, I can't go vegan because I just love cheese too much. I don't think cheese is tough, but at the same time, like if you look at the list of things that you can eat as opposed to the things that you are making a conscious decision not to eat, the list of foods is way, way bigger. So yeah, cutting out a few things in the grand scheme of it really isn't so bad when you look at all of the other delicious foods that you still get to keep part of, your lifestyle and your diet. All right, so I usually do put a big heaping flop of butter in it. I think people have like this misconception that when you eat vegan that you're only eating salads and that all you're really eating is like roughage, and that's not the case at all. Even if I'm not eating like mock meats or some of these alternatives like the just egg, I still eat really good, and it's not all salads and things like that. Now salads are delicious. I don't know when we started hating salads because they are good, especially if you can get everything in that salad that you want. But I don't know, I think people assume that we just eat healthy all the time, and it's like, no, like I still like to have a bowl of buttery grits and a vegan croissant from time to time and things like that. It's all about harmony to me. Like I said, I follow an 80-20, and Saturdays are my days that I can have like a really good hearty breakfast, and so I'm gonna eat what I want to. And I suggest that you do too. Eat the things that make you happy, that are really, your cultural foods, things that make you feel good. So that's what I'm doing today. All right, my grits are thick enough. I'm gonna turn that off. I'm gonna cover them up so that they don't get that weird skin on the top. If you know, you know. And then I'm just gonna wait for my frittata to be done so we can plate that up and show how absolutely delicious it is. So yeah. All right, so frittata is ready. Oh, it looks so good. All right, so usually what I like to do with my frittata is top it with things. So pesto, because pesto and egg is absolutely delicious. I'm not eating this whole thing, by the way. Husband and I are gonna share this. But I usually will do some pesto. And I've really been into broccoli sprouts. I don't know, I just like the texture and it adds a little extra nutrition. So some broccoli sprouts, if I can get it out of the container. So I usually do some broccoli sprouts. There we go. Ooh. And some crumbled feta. Or if I don't have feta, usually I'll use the vegan Parmesan, but the feta is really good too. So we'll just like crumble a little bit of feta on it. Oh my gosh. Yes, this is gonna be really good. And then I have my grits. I'm gonna probably just put some salt, pepper, and some garlic powder in it. You do whatever you want to do with your grits. But again, that's what I'm gonna do with mine. And ooh, let me clean my hands off. I feel like I should have used something else for that. All right, and then let's give it a taste test, because I haven't made this. Oh gosh, I haven't made this in months, but it is so good. It's like really fluffy. I'm gonna try and get a little bit of pesto, a little bit of sprouts. Ooh, it's still hot. A little bit of mushroom. Ooh, that looks good. I'm not gonna burn myself for y'all. I'm not gonna do that, because I burned myself before trying to taste test things for y'all. I'm not doing that today. It's not happening. So I'm gonna let it cool off. It needs more pesto. All right, breakfast is on today. It's a good Saturday when you can have a good hearty breakfast. So I'm gonna go enjoy this with Husbandtron, and then I will see you guys back at lunchtime. All right, so it's a little bit later in the day and I'm still sort of full from breakfast, but I am a little peckish. So I'm just gonna make myself a protein shake. This one is my chocolate peanut butter protein shake. I love this one. It tastes like Reese's peanut butter cup. Even though I don't eat them anymore, I still like the flavor of peanut butter and chocolate together. So I'm going to make that and probably have a snack. So it's really simple, doesn't take a whole lot. I just use some almond milk, some frozen bananas. If you don't like bananas, I cannot help you. I'm so sorry. Ooh, I need a knife. So as much as I like this blender because it's all aesthetic, it struggles a little bit. I'm gonna be very honest. It's really good for like sauces, and if you're, you know, not doing too much heavy blending, but I notice sometimes, I mean, smoothies are gonna be one of the main things that you probably use your blender for. And I notice it kind of struggles a little bit, which I can't say that I'm a fan of. Now, is it a cute blender? And it's pretty strong for the most part, yeah. But I think it's best for sauces, I would say. And that's just kind of like my honest opinion about that. I was using my, what is this thing? My butter knife to like stir my peanut butter. So I'm just gonna use it to put my peanut butter in here. Husbandtron, when he's recording, he gets super annoyed at me using awkward tools to cook with and to use, because he's like, why are you using that? But it's like, I don't know, realistically, this is probably what I would use if the camera wasn't on, if, you know, and I'm like not trying to be cute. So yeah, sorry. But yeah, it's just like, he's shaking his head in the background. And then a little bit of cinnamon, or a lot, I guess, depending on how much is gonna come flying out of your cinnamon. And then a couple scoops of protein powder. This one's just like a chocolate protein powder that I like. This one is the So Lean and So Clean by Aura. And I like it. It has like extra like greens and all kinds of stuff in there. I don't use protein powder all the time. Kind of takes me a while to actually get through my protein. Usually Husbandtron has to help me get through it because I don't usually do too many protein shakes. So I'm just doing 2 scoops of that. But when I do, this one's my go-to. I haven't tried any other flavors besides the chocolate, but this one's really good. It's not gritty. And then just for like a little extra kick of chocolate flavor, I'm gonna throw in some cacao nibs, which are really high in antioxidants, so why not? But yeah, I'll likely have this with like a snack. I probably should have added a little bit more peanut butter, but I kind of mostly wanted to taste like chocolate today. And then in order to help out the blender, I kind of shake it because, again, I don't know. I think it might be time for me to invest in a much better blender. So if you have any recommendations for me, leave a comment below. All right, let's get this blended. Okay, so all blended. It didn't struggle that time, so I guess I shouldn't talk too much junk about this thing. Ooh, she thick. All right. A little extra. Probably give that to Husbandtron. This is always on point. Okay. So I'm probably gonna have this with a snack, but I thought it would be fun to show you guys some of the snacks that I really like to eat as a vegan, because I feel like for a while it was really hard to find good vegan snacks, and now there's a lot of really fun stuff out there. So a couple of things that have me in a stronghold. This Lesser Evil Himalayan Gold popcorn. Oh my God. This stuff is so good. It kind of tastes like movie theater popcorn, but not greasy the way movie theater popcorn is. And it does have like a really buttery taste, and it's minimally processed, which is really nice. I mean, there's like 5 ingredients. It's not too bad at all. I probably have some of this like every evening when I'm watching television. I'm ashamed to admit how many bags of this stuff that I've gone through. It's really good. So they have other flavors. I like this one so much that I haven't really tried a lot of the other flavors, but yeah, this one's pretty good. I even keep a bag in my desk at work for when I'm feeling peckish, and I'm probably gonna have this along with my my shake. And then there's these, which I couldn't find. Sprouts had them, and I'm not sure exactly what the brand is. I think I chopped the brand off on accident, but it's like You Need This Snacks, I think. And it's like ranch flavored tortilla chips. So sort of like if you really liked Cool Ranch Doritos, you would probably like these. Now, do they taste like Cool Ranch Doritos? No, they taste similar, which is good. But these, for the longest time, I couldn't find anymore. They had them on like the What's New shelf at Sprouts. And then I was able to find them on Thrive Market, which is where I get a lot of my like snacks and dry goods and things like that. And then there's these little solely organic fruit chews or gummies. They're not really gummies. I would say they're fruit snacks, but they're really good. Again, really minimal ingredients, really tasty. A good little snack to have. The Saffron Road crunchy chickpeas, and then I think I also really like the beanas. I'm not really sure how to pronounce it. Beanas, but they're really good too. These ones are the Korean barbecue flavor ones. I really like the salted ones, but these ones are really good too. What else do we have? I'm a snacker, y'all. And then these are new. I noticed they were on sale on Thrive Market, so I got these. And these are the Kind soft baked squares. This one's the salted caramel almond flour blondie. So these are gluten-free, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, they're gluten-free, fully vegan, which is pretty good. Minimal ingredients, like I said, you know, because we do, like I said, try to eat whole food plant-based as much as possible. But yes, sometimes we bring some processed foods into the house, but we just try to do minimally processed. This one actually has 5 grams of protein, so it's not bad. And it's made with like ground up almonds. So these are really good. And I've been enjoying those. So that's just some of the snacks that I bring into the house. Every so often, I think like once a month, I'll order like a box of like my snacks and my dry goods. Sometimes I'll order like my almond milk and things like that from Thrive Market. And what I really like about them is that they have a filter where you can click on gluten-free and only get gluten-free, or you can click on vegan and only get vegan food if you want. So it's really allergen friendly and really vegan friendly. And so that's usually how I find like new snacks to try. There's a few things that I like from there, but I just kind of like alternate what it is that I buy. So yeah, if you want to try them out, I do have a discount code for 30% off of your first order. So I will put the link in the description, and I might put a QR code here for you as well, just to help you out with that. I've been using Thrive Market for, maybe 3 years now. And it's been totally worth it for me, especially since, I don't know, I feel like if you're a vegan, you know. I shop at 3 to 4 different grocery stores every time I go out. And since using them and them adding more and more vegan products and ingredients, I find myself having to go to different stores less and less. Sometimes I'm just like, let me make it easy and order it online, and then they drop the box at my doorstep. So it's really helpful. But yeah, having to go to 4 and 5 different grocery stores is not fun, and it's kind of nice. Like I said, I'm a snacker. It's kind of nice to be able to find my snacks really easily. So yeah, so I will see you guys back at dinner time. It's dinner time, and I have like some leftover black beans that I made yesterday. And so I thought it would be fun to make tostadas tonight. And so I just have like some run-of-the-mill tostadas here that are like toasted up. And then these chipotle lime black beans. I've been enjoying trying a lot of recipes from other bloggers, especially ones that are more like whole food plant-based. And so I made these probably a couple weeks back for Husbandron and I, and they were so good. And so this recipe is from the plant-based RD. She has a lot of really great recipes that I cook in my house. And then even like last week, there were the creamy harissa butter beans from Shakayla, and oh my God, they were so good. I made them again and had them later on in the week. And so, like I said, like if you need recipes, like come to your girls. We got you. And I mean, I go and find recipes on Pinterest and through blogs and all kinds of things like that, because I mean, trying to come up with things from scratch, like don't even reinvent the wheel. Let somebody else do it for you. So yeah, so let's get to it. I'm gonna make these tostadas. Now, please don't come for me in the comments saying that's not authentic. Like, I didn't say they were. I'm just making some tostadas. And what kind of works for me. Though I will say I think this black bean recipe might actually be pretty authentic, but it's really good. It has like chipotle peppers and all that good stuff. So I'll make sure that I link the recipe for these in the description. Dropping beans. When I first went vegan, my go-to cuisine for a lot of like alternatives was Mexican food and like Asian food. And that's mostly because it seems to be the simplest cuisine to like make swaps. Especially since a lot of Mexican cuisine already involves having beans in it, and you just kind of take maybe the meat out and season the beans the way that you would the meat. And so it was a lot of tacos, burritos, tostadas, and things like that. And I mean, it worked. So if there's one thing I can say about making vegan food is you have to know your way around some spices. And I feel like I am so much more familiar with spices now. Like, I'm proud of myself because I've got spices in my little spice drawer that I never would have thought of having in there, which I think is really good. But yeah, you don't necessarily have to know how to cook to be vegan, but you kind of gotta know how to cook. And people are here to teach you and like help you learn, which is really nice. All right, so on my tostadas, I've got my black beans. I usually do just like shredded lettuce because that's fun. And then just like a salsa. I don't always like to make certain things from scratch. Salsa is not one of those things that I like to make from scratch. I like to let other people do that. So I just have like a basic salsa. Another good thing about vegan food is layering. Layer your food. Layer it with different flavors so that it tastes really good. I hate that sometimes vegan food gets a bad reputation for being bland, and that's just because somebody's not cooking right. And I mean, I don't know, like you wouldn't just like boil chicken and not put any seasonings on it, right? All right, so I've got my chipotle sauce. You guys already know about the chipotle sauce. I've mentioned it so many times before, and usually I'll get this instead of cheese, like vegan cheeses. But yeah, and it's pretty cheap, so yeah. And then let me clean off my spoons. One thing about doing these videos for you guys, my kitchen be a mess when we're done. There's so much stuff out. All right, and then I don't buy vegan sour creams. I just usually use yogurts. And so this one's just like a plain yogurt from Trader Joe's. And my little hack, which is probably not my hack and somebody else's, is the vegan feta, which as you can see, I really like, and we've been putting it on almost everything, but it's really good on tacos and burritos and things like that. So I'm gonna use it. Ooh, these look good. Sometimes for dinner, you just want something like quick and simple. So we were having the black beans earlier in the week, so they can come in handy for this too. I think the last time I had this, it was with like plantains, which that's a fun one too. All right, I'm gonna clean my hand off. All right, I'm pretty sure there's no neat way for me to taste this, so I'm just gonna go into it. Let's see. I tried. But it's really good. Some of the best foods are really messy, but this is really good, really simple, really easy, and I don't know, didn't take too much time. So we always love things that don't take too much time. All right, so I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my evening, enjoy my dinner, relax with Husbandtron, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. What I will do is make sure that I link my recipe for my just egg frittata, for my chocolate peanut butter protein shake, and the black beans from Plant-Based RD, as well as my discount code for Thrive in the description box below. But yeah, if you decide to make any of these things, make sure you comment, let me know how you like them. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.